In my last video, I had called upon President William Samoe Ruto to pay attention, as a matter of fact, special attention to two things. Number one, the cost of living. Number two, the drought situation in Kenya. As we speak today, you realize that the distribution of food has kind of hit a snag in Nairobi because everybody is looking for food. My question today is simple. Do you think by subsidizing fertilizer, William Samoe Ruto is actually addressing the issue of cost of unga and issues cost of living? Do you think that approach will actually have an effect on the cost of unga and basically actually forget about even unga, the entire cost of living?
I don't want to talk much about it. Let him work. Let him do what? What we don't want is excuses. Any government comes to power and starts collecting taxes the following day. When we came in as NAC with Kibaki, there was no money in the state coffers. Even in Grand Coalition government, there was no money. Today, Ruto, please.
Today, as we speak, the issue food distribution has caused some issues in Nairobi, and people are running left, right, and center to get donations of food relief from the First Lady. Do you think the approach that William Samoe Ruto has taken of subsidizing fertilizer as opposed to subsidizing unga, do you think that approach will have an effect on the price of unga? There is also politics in the issue of fertilizer. There are some people who think that by subsidizing fertilizer alone, William Samoe Ruto is giving preference to Mount Kenya and Rift Valley, the major beneficiaries in terms of not only being able to farm because of the weather conditions in Rift Valley and Mount Kenya, but also because of the fact that they have tracts of land that they put into maize. I think that the joyride of William Samoe Ruto and Kenya Kwanza's government is now coming to an end, and reality is actually dawning on Kenya Kwanza. Today, the Kenya Airways pilots have actually gone on strike countrywide, claiming better terms of working. If I may summarize this, it's just one thing: cost of living. And other issues are, of course, labor related that can be solved. But if you look at the reason why Kenya Airways have down their tools, it's just cost of living. You see, the pressure is on everybody. To be able to look at this question objectively, you really need to look at how this economy works. When you say that you're going to actually subsidize fertilizer and hope that when you subsidize fertilizer and hopefully it rains, the price of unga will come down, I think is a little bit difficult. That route in this economy might be a challenge because fertilizer is not the key ingredient in the cost of unga, or rather, is not the key ingredient in the cost of production of unga. As you know, fuel cuts across everything. And in this government, Kenya Kwanza government has said no to subsidizing fuel. So cost of fuel is one key ingredient of the cost of production of unga at any stage. Because when you look at these dynamics, like I've said, issues, cost of fuel and everything, and you look at the economy of Kenya, where we are coming from, we do not have that luxury of time of letting the markets decide. Even when you have a bumper harvest, I can assure you that the movement of price will be very minimal or marginal and will rise back to where it was very, very fast indeed. As in terms of what am I saying? I'm saying that may not be 100% solution in bringing down the cost of unga, let alone the cost of anything else. Because when you talk about the cost of living, you are talking cost of cooking oil, you're talking about the salt that Mudavadi was talking about, you're talking about cost of unga, you're talking about cost of transport, you're talking about cost of everything, literally cost of even rent. Subsidizing fertilizer and hoping that it rains and you'll have a bumper harvest will only work if actually again is their own policy. William Samoe Ruto will have to subsidize maize by actually buying the maize from farmers at a high price and selling it or giving it to millers at a lower price. I don't see any way where the cost of unga will come down because of subsidizing fertilizer alone and leaving the entire fuel industry to the market. Those people who are buying DAP fertilizer, 50 kilograms, are not necessarily putting it into production of maize. They could be doing flowers, they could be doing other products. So it doesn't target maize per se. So that is a little bit a long shot. So our thinking is that William Samoe Ruto at some point will have to directly subsidize maize to be able to bring that cost down. In terms of the global cost of living in Kenya, that is something that William Samoe Ruto needs to think about outside the box, given that prices in Kenya are actually affected so much by what is playing out in the international arena. Do you think that William Samoe Ruto should do a little bit more to bring the cost of living down? Number one. Number two, do you think by subsidizing fertilizer alone would actually result in 1 year now from 100 days into bringing down the cost of unga, let alone the cost of living? We do not think so. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to Talk to Africa. My name is George.